When we wake up in the morning to get started with our day, and go to our places of work, we always make plans for when we get back home. We make plans for dinner, plans on what to watch after a long day, plan to do the laundry, and sometimes, plan shopping for groceries. We never plan on not making it back home, or dying on the job, but that was exactly what happened to high school teacher Ann Maguire. The city of Leeds. One of the most famous cities in the UK, and known for its historical moments and its economic vibrancy, it excels in areas such as music, sports, arts, and politics. The city is the largest legal and financial centre in the country outside of London, and its central station, the Leeds Central Station, is the third busiest outside of the capital. All these contributes to a thriving city, where the creativity of the populace is self-evident in the phenomenal range of places to eat, drink, play, and browse. But on the 28th of April 2014, a senseless crime took place. 61-year-old Ann Maguire's day started like any other. She got ready for her job at Corpus Christi Catholic College in Leeds, where she taught Spanish and had taught there for over 40 years, and headed out. She had 5 months left till retirement and was looking forward to her final months as a teacher. Little did she know it was going to be her last day on earth. Ann was known as a principled but very nice teacher. She was loved by pupils and respected by co-workers. But one student hated her with passion. 15-year-old Will Cornick joined Corpus Christi College in Year 7. His former head of year described him as polite and with 100% attendance. Prior to the murder, he had only 5 incidents of misbehavior in 4.5 years at the school, and no criminal record. Classmates also described him as academically gifted, and unlikely to cause trouble. He had friends and behaved just like a normal 15-year-old would. Although divorced, Will's parents were really supportive of him, and he seemingly had everything he could wish for. A personality change in Will was noted after he was diagnosed with diabetes. He briefly self-harmed after getting the diagnosis. In 2013, he was upset at not being able to join the army due to his diabetes. In school, Ann had banned Cornick from a school trip because he failed to do his homework. After this, he tried dropping Spanish class, but that was refused, and this sparked his hatred for his well-respected teacher. As time went by, Will's grudge against Ann began to deepen, and he started sending classmates disturbing messages about murdering his teacher. No one really paid him mind, as he was only 15, and they thought he was saying all that only because he was angry. Will also offered his Facebook friends £10 to kill his Spanish teacher. I think friends should have reported him at this point, but this went unchecked as well. On the 28th of April 2014, Will Cornick decided to carry out his sinister plans. Will attended lessons as normal that day. After morning break, he went to the top floor for his Spanish lesson. Halfway through the lesson, he stood up, winked at his friend, and walked to the front of the classroom to launch his violent attack. He stabbed Ann Maguire 7 times in the back and neck with a 21-centimeter knife. One cut straight through her jugular vein. He then chased her into the corridor, where Susan Francis, the head of languages, alerted by screams, ran to help her. She separated and shielded Ann from Will. Susan got away into another room where she held the door shut to keep Cornick out. He then returned to his class and told a friend that it was a shame that he had not killed Ann. Will Cornick had even brought a bottle of whiskey to celebrate and admitted he planned to kill 2 other teachers. While he was waiting for the police to arrive, Will Cornick calmly sat down and muttered, "Good times." Following his arrest, the disturbed teen said he didn't give a flip about the devastating impact of his gruesome crime. Dr. John Kent, who carried out Will Cornick's psychiatric assessment, reported one of Will's comments was very notable. According to him, Will said he knew the victim's family will be upset, but he didn't care, and in his eyes, everything he had done was fine and dandy. On his arrest, Will Cornick was detained at Wetherby Young Offenders Institution near Leeds, but due to concerns for his safety he was transferred to HM Prison Hindley, near Wigan. Paramedic Carl Sauger, who was first on the scene and rushed Mrs. Maguire to hospital, said her wounds were the worst he had ever seen. Psychiatrists said that Will had possessed a gross lack of empathy for his victim and a degree of callousness rarely seen in clinical practice, and that he presents a risk of serious harm to the public and that this risk is present for the foreseeable future. The risk is of grave homicidal violence, and this could easily involve the use of a weapon. The risk is immediate and unpredictable and could cause serious and lethal injury. On Monday, November 3, 2014, William Cornick pleaded guilty to the murder of his Spanish teacher, Mrs. Ann Maguire. He was sentenced to detention at Her Majesty's pleasure, meaning he would be in prison for an indefinite time, with a specified minimum term of 20 years. Not enough if you asked me. Yes, more emphasis should be placed on rehabilitation, but believe he can focus on the rehabilitation after serving his term. William Cornick was a psychopath who struggled with mental illness. His diagnosis triggered something in him, and it was even reported that he withdrew into his shell and only played video games. I don't know why nobody noticed the deteriorating state of his mental health. Also, his friends should have reported to someone when he started making terrifying statements. I mean, some might say they didn't know he was serious. But the fact is, he offered to pay £10 to whoever could take care of Mrs. Maguire. He was serious about taking her life. It is so unfortunate that the respected teacher, amazing mother and a loving wife had to die that way. May her loving soul rest in peace. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And please, turn on the notification bell so you can get notified whenever I upload a new video.